Hi there guys, Alex here, and I'm back. Seems like I say that every time now that I come on and make a video, but yeah, it's just been so long since I've come on here and posted a video for the Viner community. Let me think, it's been... Well, I think the last video I made was showing you guys my my new turntable, and that was back in late December, so wow, it's been almost 2 months now since I posted a video. So you know, I'm not gonna bore you guys with a belated apology of where I've been and that kind of thing. But you know, for the simple reason is that I've just been tremendously busy. You know, I seem to use that excuse every time, but I've had a lot on my plate at the moment with obviously going to college full time now. Lots and lots of work to do if I want to get good A-level grades this year. And you know, obviously got friends as well to you know, been going out with my friends a lot, and just had a lot going on, and haven't had a lot of time to make videos and stay in touch with you guys in the community. But I want to try and get back into it in 2012, because obviously it was such a huge part of my life in 2011. You know, being part of the community and posting videos and watching videos and just being involved. It was a great addition to my life, and I wouldn't want to completely lose it. That would be horrendous. So yeah, I thought I'd make a fresh start today. Come on here and show you guys some records. I'm not feeling my best. I've had a pretty busy week, and I'm feeling pretty run down. We're going out a lot. We're on half term at the moment, so it's yeah, feeling a little bit low. But I'm going to do my best, and obviously I've had 2 months to accumulate some records, and some of these I got for Christmas, some I've just picked up along the way, and got some good stuff to show. So I'm going to get into that quickly in just a minute. But yeah, I've been trying to watch as many videos as possible. I just want to say, you know, it's great to see that you know, the community is still growing exponentially. You know, it's no way has it slowed down or anything. So you know, just to all the new people that have joined and are now posting videos on a regular basis, you know, I hope it kind of changes your life in the way it changed my life in 2011. And you know, whether I go on to post videos on a very regular basis this year, or you know, on a less regular basis, you know, I just hope that everyone's having a great time, and I hope the community is still going as strong, you know, at the end of this year. So yeah, been trying to keep up with everyone's videos. Obviously there's, you know, yeah, I'd say definitely hundreds of people now posting videos, and obviously I can't watch all of them. It's quite hard to keep up, but it's just amazing. You know, back when I joined the community back in December of 2010, there's maybe 20 to 30 guys posting videos, I would say, maybe slightly more, but there was, you know, very, very few compared to how many there are now. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of people now sharing ideas, sharing music, and just showing off their huge collections, and it's just great to see. So keep it going, guys, and as I say, hopefully I can get back into the swing of things and start posting videos a bit more regularly. But yeah, also just wanted to say that my turntable, which I showed you guys after Christmas, I've just been having the most unbelievable time listening to records on it. I mean, it's just taken my experience of listening to a whole new level that I never knew existed. The records just sound unbelievably crisp and perfect on this table, and I see no reason whatsoever to upgrade it, you know, in the foreseeable future. I want to leave it exactly how it is, because it sounds just incredible, and obviously with my new speakers and new amp, just everything coming together like that at once has just meant that I'm just having a lot more fun listening to records now than I was on my old turntable and my old system. So yeah, that's enough rambling. I'm going to get straight into these records now. As I said, I've got quite a few to show. So playing in the background is Street Legal by Bob Dylan, released in 1977. An album that I'm not, you know, too familiar with. I haven't listened to too many times since getting it, but it's a great record. You know, it doesn't quite match up to its predecessors, Blood on the Tracks and Desire, released in 75 and 76. You know, this isn't quite as good as that, I have to say, but it's still a decent album. definitely a lot better than some of his 80s and 90s work. Um, so, you know, one of his last really, really good albums, I would say. Not quite as good as Slow Train Coming, which was released in 1979, but still a great record, and thought I'd give it a spin today. Okay, so getting into the records now. Start off here with another Dylan record, actually, and this is one I picked up last month. This is sorry about the glare there off my computer. This is the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan from 1963. Obviously, a hugely hallmark album for him, a landmark album. Really propelled him to new heights in terms of his status in the folk world back in the early 60s. And this just really brought him to a much wider audience, and brought him to many, many more people's attention, and just, you know, really upped his exposure, I guess. After his first album was really kind of a letdown for Columbia. I think it only sold a few thousand copies in its first year, and it was just a real you know, it was a real flunk for Columbia, and they were starting to think twice about signing him in the first place. But this album really, you know, put that all right, and he never really looked back from there, and went on to release some of his, you know, greatest albums in the coming years. So this is definitely one of Dylan's greatest albums, and I'm so glad to have this. This is the 2010 mono remaster on Music on Vinyl. And it was pretty expensive. I think it was £17 or £18, but I think definitely worth it. I think Music on Vinyl probably did the first 8 albums in mono, because those were the ones that were originally recorded in mono, and I expect they've released all of those in mono, as I say, back in 2010, and you know, they sound amazing, I have to say. The only copy I have of this before was it was a 1963 original, actually, but it sounds absolutely horrible. So many crackles and pops, and just a really distorted experience listening to that one. So I'm you know, very grateful to finally have a nice clean copy, and definitely look to pick this up if you're a Dylan fan, because it's you know, it sounds amazing. So that's Freewheelin'. Moving on. Second one I've got is another Bob Marley this time. This is Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus. I'm not big into reggae music. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about it. Really, my knowledge doesn't extend much past Bob Marley, to be honest, in the reggae genre. And I don't have any of his albums apart from this one. I believe this is quite a big album in his discography, and maybe released sometime in the mid-70s, but I really know nothing about Bob Marley's history or anything. But this is great to have. I've played it through a few times, and yeah, I just find with Bob Marley and reggae in general, it's just really kind of feel-good music. I mean, it really picks you up when you're having a bad day, and you know, it's just it's great to put on when you're just feeling a little bit low, like I am now. And you know, this is great music, it has to be said. And you know, I'm sure I'll delve deeper into reggae music in the future. It's just not something I've been tremendously interested in, because there's, you know, so much great music out there. I just haven't got around to exploring it in too much depth. But this is a great album, and I think one of his most famous as well. So that's Exodus. Next one is one I actually picked up because of you guys in the community, and I thank you very, very much for recommending this. Not something I would usually gravitate to, I have to say, naturally, but I'm really, really glad I picked this up. This is Brian Eno, Drums Between the Bells, released I think last year. Yeah, it was definitely released last year, with words by Rick Holland, and a really, really interesting album. As I say, I heard many of you guys talk about it. I think Big Star 1000 and a few other people have recommended this. One of the vinyl community favourites for sure of last year. And I'm not, as I say, I don't know anything about Brian Eno or his history. I know he goes back a way, but you know, this is his latest release, and I have to say I'm so impressed with this. As I say, it's not something I would usually pick up, not something I would usually listen to, but a really interesting conceptual album, I would say. You know, some real interesting ideas on this album for sure. 2 LP set, gatefold, really nice pressing. And yeah, I got this for a good price. And as I say, I'd say it's more, this album's more about the music than the words, but the fusion between the really, really interesting music, you know, by Brian Eno on this record, but that fused with the poems that are kind of layered on top of the music. All of the songs have a, you know, a poem read over them. I think that's the right way of putting it. By different people, various people, and it's just really, really interesting and fascinating to listen to, I have to say. You know, some really, really interesting music, and just a really deep and you know, intriguing experience and journey listening to this music. And it's definitely inspired me to go out and seek out some more Brian Eno. I know his ambient albums are very, very sought after and regarded as you know, great pieces of art. So this is my introduction to Brian Eno, and I'm very, very glad I picked it up. So thanks to everybody who recommended it in the community. Sorry, just got a bit of a dry throat, so I'm just clearing it with some water. Moving on now to some records that I got for Christmas. My mum, you know, obviously knows that I'm into records, and she always looks out for stuff for me, which is very kind of her, and you know, I appreciate it very much. And this was one that I was absolutely stoked to get. This is an absolute gem by one of my favourite bands of all time, and this is Rubber Soul by the Beatles. As I'm sure all you guys know, their 1965 album, the second album they released in 1965 after Help. And this is a really, really nice original on Parlophone. Yeah, on Parlophone. And it's in mono, I believe. Yeah, it's in mono. Really, really nice copy. The cover's in pretty good shape. Just a little bit, you know, a few creases in there, but apart from that, it's, you know, pretty much mint, and yeah, obviously amazing to get any Beatles albums on vinyl. And my mum got this for a very good price. I think she paid like something like £5 for this, which is an amazing deal. I mean, you have to, if you go on Discogs, these cost kind of anywhere between £20 to £30 when I've looked before. So great to get this for free. Obviously, she gave this to me for Christmas, so a great, nice, really clean copy, and one of my favourite Beatles albums for sure. Slightly behind Revolver, and Sgt. Pepper, and probably Abbey Road as well. But after that, it would, you know, probably come 4th or 5th if I was to rank my Beatles albums. So yeah, amazing to have this. My favourite song on the album is probably Norwegian Wood. Mainly because the Beatles were being directly influenced by Dylan at this stage in their songwriting careers, and especially John Lennon. And obviously, when writing Norwegian Wood, Dylan obviously picked up on that influence, and he could tell that John was, you know, being directly influenced by his style of songwriting. And obviously, with Rubber Soul, they were moving into the kind of folk rock genre, as it was dubbed back in the 60s. And Dylan replied to Norwegian Wood by writing Fourth Time Around in 1966 for his Blonde on Blonde album. And, you know, that's one of my favourite songs of all time. So Norwegian Wood is, yeah, definitely my favourite song on the album. But yeah, great to get. And from one Beatles album to another, I also got Help, again for Christmas. As I say, the first album they released in 1965, I think in maybe March or April of that year. And really interesting album cover. I've always liked the artwork for Help. Again, I think an original copy on Parlophone. And I think I'd say this is even in better condition than the Rubber Soul. Just so clean. No crackles or pops, just sounds absolutely pristine on my table. So again, stoked to get this, and you know, thanks very much to my mum for seeking these out, because you know, they're becoming increasingly harder to get, and she got them for a very good price. So yeah, Help is another great Beatles album for sure, and my Beatles album's growing pretty nicely now. I've got, I think, four or five of their albums, so it's steadily but surely it's growing, and you know, I'm sure before long I'll have them all on vinyl. So great to have. I'm going to cut the video now because I'm at almost 16 minutes here, so I think I'll come back on and show you guys the remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 finds. So I got some, you know, pretty cool stuff remaining. So I'll cut the video and come back and post another one. But it's great to check back in with you guys. And as I say, I want to, you know, get back on the bandwagon this year and you know, try and get back into the swing of things, making videos, commenting, you know, watching some more videos, and you know, just being part of it again, because it was such an amazing thing discovering the community in the first place and being part of it for the whole of 2011. And you know, just thanks so much to you guys for everything you've done in extending my musical knowledge. It's been amazing. So thanks guys, I'll be back soon with the second half of this vinyl update, but yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers guys.